Because let me tell you what an interviewer is thinking as they're interviewing you. They're thinking, can I put this person in front of my stakeholders that I have to deal with?
Yes.
Will they be able to build a rapport with them?
Yes.
Right? So if you're able to build a rapport and demonstrate that in the interview with the interviewer, they're more confident that you can do the same thing with the other people in the organization. So again, focusing less about yourself and more about building that rapport and relationship with the interviewer can really go a much longer way than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other bit that I practice in the interviews that I have to give is that normally towards the end of the interview, people ask you that, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
Use that as an opportunity. Use that as an opportunity to actually ask a question that actually makes the interviewer think. Ask them, if you can ask them an interview, if you can ask the interviewer a question that actually shows your eagerness to understand the organization or to understand the role in a better way, rather than asking very, very trivial questions like when is the start date, what are the salary expectations, or anything like that. Or any of those trivial questions. If you go beyond that and ask some deeper questions, that really adds to building that rapport with the company.
It really helps to do your homework.
Yes.
And go very well researched into any interview.
Yeah.
And if you can show that you've done that in the first 30 seconds, you're already classified as a high value candidate. Here's one really amazing question you can ask interviewers. If you're going to be reporting directly to them, ask them what their management style is like. Alternatively, you can also ask them, what are the success metrics for this role in 3 to 6 months?
Yes.
For a successful candidate to be regarded as a really high performer, what traits or skills would they have to demonstrate in this role? That can also give you a lot of insight into how to approach that role. And it also tells the interviewer you're already starting to think about how to do well in this role.
Yeah, that you're already envisioning yourself as part of the organization.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, the ultimate question that anybody who's watching this podcast, they're going to go down in the comments and say that all of this is fine that you guys are talking about. How do I get through the first barrier that I can't speak well in English? How do I have all of these values. I know the kind of roles that I want. I know what I'm worth and I'm highly skilled. I cannot give a confident interview in English. How would you suggest a candidate tackles that? Because that is, if not the biggest factor, I believe, in the make or break of the interview.
Yeah. I mean, it really influences how confident you feel, right?
Yep.
And I think more than the language barrier, it's the impact that it has on the confidence of an individual, which really shows up in an interview. So my recommendation for someone who's probably struggling with a language barrier, unfortunately, there's no easy way out.
Yes.
The only thing that's actually going to help is you putting yourself out there more often and building up that sense of confidence. So find any opportunity that you have to speak in public in English. Right? Even if you fall flat in your face, that's still okay because you're building your confidence.
Yeah.
So I conduct these group workshops, right, for interview preparation. And I encourage people to I put them on the spot.
Yeah.
I tell them, okay, so let's say you're in an interview. I'm going to ask you a behavioral question. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a tough stakeholder. Yeah. I give them a framework to answer the question, give them some time to think about it. And then I really encourage them to speak. Because what that does is you're speaking in front of maybe 5 other people who are in the same boat as you. And just overcoming that initial fear, that anxiety of, oh my God, I'm going to speak and it's not going to come out right. Doing that in small doses, right, builds up that confidence to do it in an interview. Yeah. So take every opportunity you have to speak, and the other recommendation would be to read as much as you can.
Yes. I used to give tutoring classes for PT
right.
while I was studying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I managed to do really well in the PT, so I used to give classes for that. One of the things that a lot of people ask me, how do we get better at conversational English? And I said, look, like any other language, the only way to get better at it is to use it. Yeah. It's a tool. Language is a tool. The more you use it, the more proficient you're going to get at it. So in terms of English, the good thing about learning English is that it's the most common language out there. You have all your media, your movies, your writing, your books, everything, your music, everything is predominantly in English these days. So just open yourself up to that kind of media.